There's a quiet battle happening in your life every single day. It's not loud. It doesn't announce itself. There are no alarms or flashing lights. It happens in the small moments when you look at your to-do list and feel overwhelmed. When you think about going to the gym but stay seated, when you plan to start a project tomorrow. And in those tiny, invisible moments, your future is being decided, not by giant decisions, but by whether you begin or you don't. This is where the 2-minute rule enters. Deceptively simple, almost laughably small, yet powerful enough to reshape habits, productivity, confidence, and momentum. The rule is beautifully straightforward. If something takes less than 2 minutes, do it immediately. And when starting a new habit, scale it down to just 2 minutes. Want to read daily? Read 1 page. Want to work out? Do 2 minutes of movement. Want to write? Write 1 sentence. It sounds insignificant, and that's precisely why it works. Because the biggest enemy of action is not difficulty, it's resistance. Most people don't fail because they lack ambition. They fail because they wait for motivation large enough to match their goals. They want to feel inspired before they start, but inspiration is unreliable. It visits randomly and leaves quickly. The 2-minute rule flips this psychology. It removes the need for motivation by making the starting point so small that resistance has no argument left. Think about how often procrastination wins, not because the task is impossible, but because starting feels heavy. The brain exaggerates effort. It turns a 30-minute workout into an emotional mountain. It transforms writing an email into mental friction. But when the commitment is only 2 minutes, the brain relaxes. It says, "Fine, I can handle that." And that's the crack in the wall where progress begins to seep through. What makes the rule powerful is not the 2 minutes themselves. It's what follows them. Starting creates momentum. Action generates energy. Once you begin, continuing feels natural. You sit down to read 1 page and end up reading 10. You start organizing 1 drawer and finish the whole desk. You open a blank document to write 1 sentence and produce a full page. The rule is not about doing less. It's about making starting inevitable. This taps into a deeper behavioral principle. Habits are built on consistency, not intensity. People often try to change their lives through bursts of extreme effort. Strict diets, aggressive workout routines, marathon work sessions. But intensity fades. Life interrupts. Burnout creeps in. Small starts, however, are sustainable. 2 minutes feels doable on your worst day, your busiest day, your laziest day, and consistency beats intensity every time. There's also an identity shift hidden inside this rule. When you perform a small action repeatedly, you begin to see yourself differently. Reading 1 page daily makes you feel like a reader. Writing a paragraph daily makes you feel like a writer. 2 minutes of exercise makes you feel like someone who shows up for fitness. Identity is not built through declarations. It's built through evidence, tiny proofs collected over time. Another reason the 2-minute rule works so effectively is that it bypasses perfectionism. Many people delay starting because they want the conditions to be perfect, the perfect time, the perfect plan, the perfect energy level. But perfectionism is often fear wearing a sophisticated mask. By shrinking the task to 2 minutes, perfection loses its grip. You're not trying to be great, you're just trying to begin. And beginning is where transformation lives. Consider how large achievements actually unfold in real life. Books are written page by page. Businesses are built decision by decision. Bodies are transformed workout by workout. No success arrives fully assembled. It accumulates quietly, invisibly, through repeated, small actions. The 2-minute rule aligns your daily behavior with this reality instead of fighting against it. It also neutralizes overwhelm, one of the biggest productivity killers. When tasks pile up, the brain freezes. It doesn't prioritize, it avoids. But when you tell yourself, just do 2 minutes, the overwhelm shrinks. You're no longer facing the entire mountain. You're just taking one step. And strangely, once the first step is taken, the mountain no longer looks as intimidating. There's a neurological angle as to this too. Starting a task releases dopamine, the brain's motivation chemical. Most people think dopamine comes after completing something big, but research shows it's released when progress begins. That means the act of starting fuels the desire to continue. The 2-minute rule leverages your brain's chemistry to work for you instead of against you. It's also a powerful weapon against the all-or-nothing mindset. Many people think if they can't do a full workout, there's no point doing anything. If they can't study for 3 hours, they don't study at all. This thinking destroys consistency. The 2-minute rule replaces it with always something. Even on chaotic days, progress survives, small but alive. Over time, these small survivals compound. 2 minutes daily becomes 14 minutes weekly, then 60 monthly, then hundreds yearly. But more importantly, it preserves the habit loop. You never break the chain, and maintaining the habit matters more than the volume of each session. There's also an emotional benefit that often goes unnoticed: reduced guilt. When you procrastinate, guilt builds. Guilt drains energy. It makes restarting harder. But when you honor even a 2-minute commitment, you close the psychological loop. You keep promises to yourself, and self-trust grows. Self-trust is the hidden currency of discipline. Many people believe discipline is about force, pushing yourself aggressively. But true discipline is built through reliability. When you repeatedly prove that you do what you say, even in small doses, your confidence strengthens. The 2-minute rule becomes evidence that you are a person who follows through. It's important to understand that the rule is not meant to cap your effort at 2 minutes. It's meant to eliminate the barrier to entry. Think of it as opening the door, not finishing the journey. Once inside, you're free to go as far as energy allows. And this is where small starts, big wins, reveals its deeper meaning. Big wins are rarely born from big beginnings. They grow from small starts that refuse to stop. Look at people who appear extraordinarily productive. Often their secret is not superhuman motivation, it's frictionless starting. They've trained themselves to begin without negotiation. No debate, no delay, just action. The 2-minute rule is one of the simplest ways to install that operating system in your life. It also adapts beautifully across domains. In fitness, it could mean 2 minutes of stretching. In learning, 2 minutes of revision. In business, 2 minutes of planning. In relationships, 2 minutes of intentional communication. The scale is small, but the ripple effects are massive. And perhaps the most underrated impact is psychological liberation. When you know you only need 2 minutes to win the day, life feels lighter. Progress feels accessible. change feels possible. You're no longer waiting for perfect days. You're using ordinary ones. Because the truth is, life transformation doesn't happen in grand, dramatic moments. It happens in quiet repetitions, invisible efforts, small kept promises. The 2-minute rule teaches you that success is less about doing extraordinary things and more about making ordinary actions automatic. It's not glamorous. It won't impress people instantly. But over months and years, it quietly separates those who move forward from those who stay stuck. So the next time you feel resistance rising, when the task feels heavy, when motivation feels absent, don't aim big. Aim tiny. Shrink the goal. Reduce the barrier. Start for 2 minutes. Because starting is the hardest part of everything. And once you master starting, you accidentally master finishing. If there's one idea to carry forward, it's this. Never underestimate the power of small beginnings. They look weak in the moment, but grow strong with repetition. The page you read today, the push-up you do today, the note you write today, they are not isolated acts. They are votes for the person you are becoming. So begin small. Begin imperfectly. Begin without drama. Just begin. And if you're waiting for the right time, the right mood, or the right energy, let this be your signal. Take the smallest possible action within the next 2 minutes. Do it now, not later, because big wins don't come from big intentions. They come from small starts, repeated relentlessly. Start out your 2 minutes today and watch how your life begins to move.